Hey folks, so I have a very quick update on the one woman behind the scenes journey. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I had a speaking spot at my Toastmasters group today. So I thought, hey, why not test out the beginning of my one woman keynote speech? Now, I wasn't even planning on planning the talk yet. That wasn't part of my schedule. But I've been thinking about it a lot and I've had some ideas. So I thought, hey, this is going to make me extremely nervous. This is a perfect opportunity to really ramp up those nerves and get myself to I was really nauseated, a really ill feeling state of nerves because I hadn't prepared. I hadn't written anything down. I'd spoken it out, like the outline out to myself 4 times between last night and this morning. And then this afternoon at Toastmasters, I did a 7-minute version of the beginning of my talk, my keynote that I want to do at One Woman, and it went really well. So I was terrified, but it reminded me of an experience that I had as a dancer. When I was a dancer, when you knew the dance really well, when you were still learning the dance, you had to think of the whole thing in your head and you could kind of map it out. And it was almost like, drawing the footwork on the floor kind of thing. I had a little map in my head of what the dance looked like. But when I really knew the dance really well, I would forget everything except the first step. And sometimes I wouldn't even remember the first step. I would have to hear the music first, and it would remind me, kind of trigger the first step in my body. And I got to a place, and it was wonderful actually, but the first time it happened was terrifying. But it was wonderful. I got to a place where I would be standing backstage and I wouldn't remember anything. I'd be completely blank. And then the music would play, and I would remember this is what I'm supposed to do right now. And it would kind of trigger that muscle memory. And then by the time I'd finished the first step, the end of the first step would be like, oh, this is what's next. And each step would kind of trigger the memory of the next step in my body, in my muscle memory. So I didn't have to think in my brain about anything. I could give myself over entirely to the physical experience of the dance because my body knew the dance so well. And weirdly, because I don't know this talk very well, I haven't even written it out, I haven't mapped it out, anything, but I'd been thinking about it a little bit. And it is based on my life. So I know my life pretty well. And I knew what points I wanted to hit because I talked myself through that 4 whole times, twice in bed last night while I was getting ready to sleep, once this morning trying to remember what I said last night, and then again in the shower. And just doing that, when I got on the call for Toastmasters, I couldn't remember anything, but I could remember the first line. And if I hadn't had that experience of being a dancer and knowing only the first step, I probably would have quit the call. I probably would have gone to throw up and just canceled because I really went properly blank. But I knew the first line. And I let myself trust that by the end of the first line, the second line would appear in the third. And I don't script it. So it wasn't like each line was the same, but the ideas came in order. And what I wanted to say came out reasonably eloquently. And it was such a cool experience. I was so terrified. I didn't throw up, but I was so close. I am so proud of myself because this isn't so much for me about remembering the words. That's never been a problem for me. This is about embracing the nerves and using them as fuel and letting myself do it anyway and letting myself feel extremely vulnerable in that situation. And I did. And it felt great. And I got great feedback from everyone on the call. So I think I'm going in the right direction. So far, I haven't actually followed my scriptless system because I haven't even started the system yet. This was just hey, I've got this opportunity. Let's just throw ourselves in the deep end and see what happened. And it felt really, really good. So this is my check-in about that. I just wanted to let you know. So technically, I'm not waiting to I was supposed to be doing the 12-day scriptless system, and I couldn't help myself. I've just been thinking about it. I can't stop my brain from ruminating. Whenever I try to go to sleep or I kind of zone out in a meditative state, ideas come. So I'm not going to fight that. I'm going to let that work for me. but I guess I'm not going to be doing it exactly the way that I'd planned. I will still do the system because I think it's really important to show it off. But I think this is going to actually come much more organically for me because I feel like I'm ready. I'm ready to tell the story. I'm ready to put all these ideas into this certain format. And it's just kind of falling into place without me doing too much because I'm letting it happen in the background. And so I just wanted to share that with you today. Thank you for following along in my silly little journey. I will absolutely let you know. We haven't had much more. I haven't had much more time to do anything about the one woman conference yet, but I will be letting you know as the time gets closer and preparations begin for real. Because this was just a sneak peek bonus. This was just a bonus that I hadn't planned. Thank you for following along.